Hello, hello. It's Tuesday. It is Tuesday. I am here live. Yay! Where's all my beautiful people at? Come on, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful people. As you're coming in, say hi. Say hi as you're coming in the room today. Hello. Oh, hi, Nancy. Hi, Auntie Zella. Hello, beautiful people. Hello, hello, hello. I love you all. I'm throwing some love right back at you. Hello, Amy. Hi, Carmen. Hi, Auntie Gloria. Yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Are you thriving today? Are you thriving today? We're going there. We're going there. Are y'all ready? Hi, Aunt Joe. Yes. Hi, Aunt Anita. Hello, hello. Hi, Mom. Thinking about my mom, but she ain't been feeling good, y'all. Yeah. When I get off of here, I'm about to go downstairs and ask her, what is it that you need, Granny? Yes. I'm so glad y'all are here. We're getting ready to play tennis. But okay. Well, yes. Are you thriving today? Yes, I'm thriving. Yet, for those of you who are new jumping on, my name is Jaime Stacy, and I am the founder of Swag. I'm so glad that you guys are here with me today. Yes, 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 yes. I am so glad. While more people are um, jumping on right now, I just want to say thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being here. We're going to be talking about bloom where you are planted. Are you thriving? Are you thriving where you are? What's going on at your house? Um, I got some sisters in the room saying, "What's wrong with Jenny?" Jenny is um, she's doing well. Let me just say that. But she had just been a little bit under the weather. None of this COVID stuff. I'm gonna be checking on her. Um, she's been kind of hibernating a little bit. Hello, Melissa. Hello, author James Wilburn. Thank you for joining us today. Yes, as we are all getting in the room, as you're coming into the room, we're going to do some quarantine points. You're going to give yourself some points today. Now, this little quarantine stuff is a little different than what we've been doing. Today, you're going to give yourself some points. Now, everybody's going to get points today. Why? Because we're doing quarantine food. Quarantine food. You're going to give yourself a point if you have eaten any of these things, okay? If you have eaten any of these things today, I want you to put a thumbs up, okay? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start. Give yourself a point if you've eaten any of these things. Coffee or drank any of these things. Coffee, cake, any kind of cake. Red velvet cake, chocolate cake, any kind of cake. Hello, Mona. We're giving ourselves quarantine points right now. Food. These are foods that you have eaten during this quarantine, and you're giving a thumbs up if you have actually ate it today. Okay. So coffee, cake, bananas, kale, beans of any kind, ice cream, salad, and it could be fruit salad. It could be a green salad. Spaghetti, tuna, eggs, bacon, green beans, okra, rice, cheese, oatmeal, popcorn, peanut butter, sardines, chicken. How many of those things have you eaten? How many of those things have you eaten? Those are your quarantine food points. Chicken, sardines, peanut butter, popcorn, oatmeal, cheese, rice, okra, green beans, bacon, eggs, tuna, spaghetti, salad, ice cream, beans, kale, bananas, cake, and coffee. I get all the points on this list today because I've eaten all of those things at one point or another. I've eaten all of those things. Not today. Now, I'm not giving myself a thumbs up. Give yourself a thumbs up or throw a thumbs up on here on the screen. Let me see your thumb go up if you have eaten any of that today. Like today, you're like, thumbs up for kale. I can't do a thumbs up for kale for me. But how many of the things that I read off of this list have you eaten during this quarantine? I've had all of these things. Now today I have not had anything but oatmeal and coffee. And the oatmeal was in the form of a granola bar that I made. So I would give 2 thumbs up boop, boop, for what I've eaten today. But on this list, y'all, I've ate everything that's on this list during this quarantine time. And I'm not saying that that's all I do during quarantine is just sitting around and eat. I mean, I do other things too. Yes. But yeah, I mean, how many of you have found that have been eating more since this quarantine stuff has happened? Y'all can't see my hand right here, but it's my hand is raised right now. You can't see it, but my hand is raised. I have been eating more. I don't know why. I don't know. I just why no sardines, oatmeal, or kale? Why, Aunt Anita? Those are good things, and those are good for you. I know that's not in everybody's pantry. Everybody, is there anything on this list that you have eaten more of? Like you've eaten more, I don't know, more ice cream, or you've eaten more eggs, or you've eaten more cheese since this quarantine stuff happened. Yeah? For me, I think I've eaten more, not really eaten more, but drank more coffee. Yeah, I've drank more coffee. Coffee is my friend. It's like pretty much my life is Jesus, Jerry, coffee. Yes. Yes, more salad. I see that. Granny, you eat more salad. I guess that's true for me too, because you eating the same thing that I'm eating. We eating the same things. So yeah, I have found that. We're gonna jump right in today. We're gonna jump right in. Bloom where you're planted. Yeah. So I'm so glad so many of you are here. One thing that I posted on our Facebook, on Swag's Facebook page, was the seed versus the soil. Seed versus soil. We're going to talk about it a little bit today, and I want you all to engage today and as we are having this conversation. So first I want to say probably a couple years ago, Crim 2 News came to the school where I was doing a swag group at. And while they were there, they were they were interviewing me. They were asking me some questions, about swag and things like that. And in their questions that they were asking me, what do I feel swag is? Like what does swag represent in the lives of these girls? And they said, or I said, a seed. I said that swag was a seed. I want to retract that. I want to retract that statement. And I want to say that swag is soil. Now, as we're talking today, you're going to see why. You're going to see why I have kind of come to this realization that swag is soil. So when we talk about seed versus soil, the seed has within it what it is supposed to be. Whatever that seed will become, whether it is a flower or food, whatever it is already in the seed. It's already there. You're not going to throw down a tomato seed and corn grow up, because that's not what's in the seed. What's in the seed is tomato. So that's what you're going to see produced by the seed. I tried, y'all. I tried to grow a small garden. And the only reason why I wanted to grow this garden, or attempt to grow this garden, is because I can remember as a child growing up, my grandma Perkins had a garden. And it had everything in there. There was everything in that garden. I mean, just so much good stuff. And so I thought the best tomatoes I had ever tasted came out of my grandma Perkins' garden. And so I was like, oh my goodness, I have to have a garden. I have to have a garden. So I was thinking about it, and then I met a friend. And she was like, oh yeah, I can help you with the garden, blah, 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 and she comes alongside me. And it just so happened that I was a little late in the garden game. How many of you have attempted to do something before and you realize you were a little bit too late in getting started? Or it felt like, oh my gosh, I'm late starting this. I'm late getting to this party. I'm late to the game. Yeah. A lot of us have felt like that in our lives, even. Like maybe we went to school later in life than what most people would have went, like maybe right after high school or something. Or maybe, you got married later or had children later on in life. Whatever it might be. You was like, oh my gosh, I'm late to the party, Well, in this particular instance, I was late to the party. So instead of planting seeds, I had to get tomato plants that were already starting, that had already started. They were called starters. So that's what I got. I got these starters, and she helped me to plant these starters in my backyard. I was so excited for this. I was watering them and tending to them and making sure they was going, they were going to grow and all this stuff. I really, really, really wanted to have something that tasted like my childhood. And those were the tomatoes that came from my grandma's garden. I just remember so vividly these tomatoes and how good they were. I always say the difference between like what I buy at the store and what I had from my grandma's garden was you can taste the sunshine. You can taste the sunshine. It's to me, that's what sunshine tastes like, the sweetness of that tomato. That's what having this garden, I wanted to taste sunshine in my tomatoes. And so I can tell you this, it had started to get cold outside. And I had very few tomatoes. Very few. And my friend was like, that's okay. I had picked some. Now, there were some that had grown. I was like, oh, Lord Jesus, I ain't going to have no tomatoes, y'all. I would look outside, I would look over my deck because I could see the tomato plants there. And I would be like, oh, I ain't gonna have no tomatoes. We're gonna have a bunch of green tomatoes. And I like fried green tomatoes, but I wanted at least a few red ones. I wanted some. I wanted some red ones. I wanted to taste the sunshine, y'all. Well, that wasn't happening. It was cold outside, and we as the cold started to settle into this Pacific Northwest like it does always so early every year, um my tomato plants were like, oh, we're done, we're done, we're done, we're done, we're done. They began to lay down and die. So I was like, man, but all I had left to show, like, from my hard work of me really trying to have a garden, was I had green tomatoes. And that was okay because I knew I'd planted tomatoes. They weren't ripe, but I still had tomatoes. So in the seed, what is in you, what you possess, it's it's in you right now. Whatever it is that you were meant to do, be, all of that is in you right now. I look at my daughter and I'm like, man, I can't imagine the woman that she's going to become. I'm so excited that I get to witness the woman that she will become. How many of you have surprised some people by what you've become? There were maybe some people in your life that you can think about, maybe one or two, or maybe more along the way, that has said, they ain't gonna be none. They ain't gonna be none. They gonna be just like such and such. They gonna be just like this. They gonna be just. Throw me a heart up if you know what I'm talking about. Throw me a heart up, because some of y'all are like, yes, I'm feeling you. My heart is there, girl. Yes. I've had people say that I wasn't ever gonna be anything. I was never gonna amount to anything. My kids wasn't gonna be nothing. All of these things. Statistically speaking, because I grew up in a single parent home, I should have been a teenage mom, or I should have went to prison, or I should or I should have not have ever went to college, or been successful, or be married. Yes, I see your hearts. See, we're right here together today. You know where I'm coming from. People will say that. And one of the things that I say to my girls in swag group is, we're going to shut the mouths of the haters. Y'all need to shut the mouths of the haters. Stop proving people right about you. So we are intentional about what is in us, the seed. What's in the seed? What's in the seed? About creating space for what's in the seed to come out, to grow. Everything that you're supposed to be or want to be is in the seed. Recently, I did something, y'all. Recently. So, I've been wanting some plants in my house. Not just any plants. I wanted to be intentional about the kind of plants that I got. So, I have plants. I have real and fake plants all over this house. But for Mother's Day, I got myself 3 plants. I wanted them. I never really tried my hand like with a succulent. So I tried, I was like, I'm gonna give me a succulent. So I did that. I got myself some plants, and the thing about it is this. I love plants, and I've had plants before. One of my guests today is one of the plants that I bought myself. Isn't he just gorgeous? Yes, I talk to my plants. Do y'all talk to your plants? Give me a thumbs up if you have plants and you talk to them. I talk to my plants when I water them. I talk to them when I brought them home. I put them in the car, and on the car ride home, I told them, I said, hello, you are getting ready to go to my house. and I hope that you like it there. This is what I was talking to my plants and telling them on the ride home. I was like, I hope that you like it at my house. I told them that my name is Jaime Stacy and that I was their new mother. My Aunt Anita said my plants don't like me. Girl, have you talked to them? Have you talked to them? So I talked to my plants all the way home. I got them here. And after my husband had served a lovely Mother's Day dinner, I decided I wanted to go ahead and get my plants into the pots that I bought for them, or for them. I bought them some really nice plants. So they were in their little containers, and I'm transferring them into their new pots. So as I get them into their new little pots in their homes, I'm talking to them and I'm like, oh, yes, baby, you're so beautiful. You're going to love it here. And before I place them anywhere in the house, I ask them, what do you need? So with each plant, I begin to ask them, what do you need? What do you need? And then the little, they always come with the little tags or whatever. And man, I began to Google some things about the plants and da-da-da. And I was like, okay, according to Google, you need some sun. You like sun. You like direct sunlight. So I took one of the plants that I bought that likes direct sunlight. I took it over and put it next to on a little table next to my bay window, because that's where the sun is just like coming in. It's like right there. I'm like, you're gonna like it right here. The sun will meet you every day in this spot. So I placed him there. And then this guy that's behind me, he doesn't like direct sunlight. So I was like, okay, well, you don't have to be right in the sun. I understand. Some of us don't like all that sun shining on us. So you can come over here and be on one of my bookshelves. So I put him over here. He likes it over here. And then I had this other little succulent. I wanted to try my hand in a succulent. And one thing that it said about this succulent was that it likes sun, but it's not like, it likes direct sunlight, but it doesn't have to have it all the time. And it doesn't have to be watered as much. So I was very intentional about, okay, these are my plants. These are my plants. And I put them, I asked them, where do you want to go? Okay, this would be a good spot for you. This would be it. And I talked to them and I welcomed them into the home. Nisi, you talk to your fried chicken. Now I'm sure that chicken is not talking back. Yes. So as I placed the plants where they needed to go, and I done some research about them, I began to think about these plants and, being here in my house. Well, when I planted these into their new pots, when I transferred them into their new pots, I did not use separate soils for each one. I had one bag of potting soil, and I used the same soil for each one of those pots. All of these plants have the same soil, but all of the plants are not the same. So when we think about the plants themselves, the seeds that those plants grew from, they were going to be whatever they are. I know that this succulent is a South African, actually, succulent. That seed, that's what it produced, because that's just what it was. I naturally have some things, and you naturally have some things in you that are going to come out, because that's just who you are. That's just who you are. That seed exists in you. And that's why we got to be real careful how we put our mouth on people, what we say about people, how we talk even to people, because we don't know what's inside of them. We don't know what is inside of them. Tupac wrote a book, and it was a collection of poems, and it was a rose blooming blooming from the concrete. He talks about him being a rose and blooming in an adverse situation like concrete. That's not the norm. That is not the norm. Normally, if you're going to have a rose or flowers or plants or whatever, they are going to be in a space or in soil that is conducive to them growing. Okay? The norm is not that a rose would grow up through the concrete. But we're going to talk about that a little bit too in just a minute. So now let's talk about the soil. We've talked about the seed. We've talked about the seed. The soil is something that should provide nutrients to the seed. If you plant something, let's just say you had, well, let me go back to me because I know what I did. I had my tomatoes plants, and I know for a fact that the sand, or that my soil here in my yard is a little sandy. So we planted them, but my friend began to tell me the soil here is sandy. That's just the way it is up here in the Pacific Northwest. And so she said, we need to go purchase some soil to kind of put around it that's going to provide some nutrients so these little plants can grow. The soil is the environment. It is the environment. And a lot of times what I found is that the environment, it has the potential to shape you. It has the potential to shape you. However, you can overcome that environment. That is what Tupac was talking about. Some of us are born into broken homes. Some of us are born into families that, there's not a lot of love. Some people are born into poverty. Some people are born into families where there is abuse. Some people are born into families where their parents are drug addicts or alcoholics or whatever. Some people are born into all kinds of different families. There's all kinds of different families. And so that's the environment that they are brought into this world in. That's the soil. And then now let's take a little step further. The community that they live in. It might be one where it's a low income community where there are a lot of people around you are on government assistance. And so you don't really see what people who have gained an education and are working in places like that, you don't really get to see what that looks like often. Or maybe you are born into a place where there's privilege. And so you go to a really nice school. You go to a really, or you get to experience really nice things. Maybe that's your soil. I'm going to talk about my soil because that's the soil that I know. The soil that I grew up in was full of religion. It was full of religion. And this soil in particular, the nutrients that it gave me, and what it provided to me was that there were things like standards and things like different beliefs that they were right, and they were the only things that were right. And this soil blocked other things from getting to me. In this particular soil, me as a seed, what was in me, swag was already in me. All these things that I have become were already present. but the soil that I was in was not allowing me to thrive. Remember, I asked you first, are you thriving today? The soil, the environment that I was in was not allowing space for me to thrive. And so what happened was I got transplanted. I'm going to tell you a true story. When I got transplanted out of that soil and into soil here in the Pacific Northwest, we had only lived here probably a couple months. And I had found a job. I was working at a bank. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Working at this bank. And the thing was this. Moving here, I had my immediate family, but I didn't have my extended family. I didn't have friends, like close friends, people that knew me, people that was, people that walk up to you and be like, hey, what's up, and can talk to you about your grandma, and people that knew my family, and familiar places like there wasn't no Kirby Burger around here. I was like, I wanted something familiar. And so I'm working there at this bank, and this woman comes in to order checks. When she comes in to order checks, I look at the top of the checks that she's ordered because she wanted the springtime collection or whatever. So I'm ordering these checks, right? And at the top of the check, it says, bloom where you are planted. Bloom where you are planted. And I felt like that statement wasn't just something that was on the checks. It was something I was supposed to see that day. I was supposed to see that statement. And not only was I supposed to see it that day, but it has been a reoccurring theme in my life. There have been times in my life where transition was getting ready to happen, where I felt maybe a little bit uncomfortable about what was fixing to take place next, where, once again, it would either come in the form of somebody saying that to me, somebody giving me a picture with that statement framed, because that has happened, or somebody giving me a magazine with bloom where you are planted is on the front of the magazine, or it could just be me seeing it somewhere unusual, like where I would normally see it. That statement has been reoccurring. So the soil is important to provide the nutrients. The soil can either help or hinder the growth of the plant. So when you talk about being able to bloom where you are planted, that means you got to have the right things in place in order to be able to bloom. What's interesting to me about what Tupac said is a rose blooming, like pushing up through the concrete, blooming through the concrete. This is what's so cool about that, is the rose was growing up. And it's just like something that I say to Michaela about her hair. Her hair grows up because the sun is energy and it pulls things up. I would ask you today, in your environment, do you have a sun? Is there sunshine in your environment? Do you have people around you that are pulling you up? Is that energy that pulls you up present in your life? How many of you, just real quick, you don't have to type a name, just give me a thumbs up. How many of you have had to excuse energies from your life because they were not pulling you up? You don't have to, Nisi, stop typing. I don't know if she's typing or not. But have you ever had to excuse energies from your life that were not pulling you up? I have. I have. I've had to. And there are even energies that have tried to be present in my life that were just pulling me. It wasn't even that they were pulling me up. They were just pulling me. And their presence was just had me going every which way. I've had to dismiss some people. Not in a mean way, but I had to recognize that I couldn't bloom with their energy present. Their energy did not cause me to be able to bloom. And so sometimes that might look like you're not texting as much, or you're not calling as much, or it may look like absolutely no contact at all. It might look like that. It may look like you're just friends on Facebook and that's it. That's what it might look like, that. And that's okay. That's okay. Because if their energy is not pulling you up, then that's not an energy that you need to have in your life. That is not an energy that is going to allow you to bloom. Are you thriving? Okay. Now that we've bloomed, are we thriving? What do you need? What do you need to thrive in your life? Somebody tell me, what is it in your life that you know you need in order to thrive? Is it self-care? Like, do you need some time alone? Have you carved out space in your busy week or day where you are committed to focusing on what you need? Time, maybe you need time alone. Maybe music is your thing. I know music is my thing. I need music to thrive. I need to be able to have a space where I can, in a time where I can sit down at my piano and I can just let things go. What do you need? Somebody tell me, what is it that you need to thrive? To thrive. Like, this is what helps me the most. When I'm feeling like a little parched because I'm not being watered, or if someone's energy is pulling me and I got to get away, what do you need? What do you need to thrive? I know that music is, yes, and Gloria, I need me to, and Gloria saying yes. I'm sure music is something that helps her to thrive as well. For me, I need a safe space where I can speak without judgment. That helps me to thrive. The other thing that I need to thrive is I need to be able to have a time where I empty myself. We're so focused on being full. I want to be full. I want to be full. I want to always be able to pour into others. I want to always be able to pour into others. One thing that I will tell you, and I will say this even to my swag girls in group, I don't know everything. I don't know. If they ask me something and I don't know, I'll look at them and be like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We're always like, oh, I want to be full, full. But one thing that I've noticed about people who are like that, they're like always full, always have the answer, always have this, I got to figure it out, and this is what y'all need to do, this is what we need to do, blah, 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 blah. I run away from people like that because they don't allow room for anyone to impart anything to them. Their space is so full of their own stuff that they don't allow room for wisdom from someone else or another source to come in. There's not space for that. There's not space for growth. As big as this plant is right now, I expect that it will outgrow that pot. And I will need to transfer it into something else, a bigger pot. I expect that to happen. because I know what it needs in order to thrive. Once it begins to reach a certain point in this pot, I'm not going to leave it there. It'll die. It will die. Some people are asking and wondering why you're not around anymore, why you don't frequent certain places anymore, why you don't show up over here anymore, why don't you text or call like you used to. Some people are wondering about that stuff, and it's because you've outgrown them. You've outgrown them, you've outgrown that space, and you can't thrive there anymore. And that's why. That's why you're not there. That's why. It's just that simple. So we have to bloom where we are planted. Bloom where we are planted. I'm telling you, it's such a powerful thing when you consider that as a seed, your purpose, everything, you have that right here in you. My swag girls, I love you. And everything that you are supposed to become, you have that in you. It's there. It's present. Swag is the soil and the sun. I want swag to provide nutrients to you. You, the seed. Swag to be able to pull you up like the sun. That's what swag is. And it's not just me. It's all these women around you who are pursuing success, who are achieving great things. That's what's going to allow you to bloom right where you are planted. Yeah, it sucks, that house that you were planted in. And sometimes you're mad, you're upset because you look around and you're like, well, look at them. They got both of their parents. Or look over here. They don't have to live on government assistance. Look over here. They got this and they got that. And it sucks to you because you feel like you don't have all the things. But you do. You have it. It's right in here. You have it. Everything. You have it. Your purpose, it's in you. That's why I want you to keep showing up. I want you to keep showing up. Because there are some nutrients in the soil of swag that you are going to be able to draw from. It's going to provide strength to you. It's going to provide comfort to you. It's going to provide peace for you at times when you need peace. It's going to provide wisdom for you. And it will be the sun that draws you up. When you feel like I can't even lift my head, then swag comes along and says, you know what, you look awesome, you're amazing, you're great. And it pulls you up. Just from you all today, how many of you have had somebody be the sun in your life? How many of you have had somebody be sunshine in your life? Throw me a heart up there. You don't have to type their name out. Throw some hearts up. Somebody has been sunshine in your life. Stevie Wonder said, you are the sunshine of my life. Yeah. And I never really understood that, other than I just know that the sun makes me feel good. I like the sun. I mean, I just love the sun. I like to be out on my deck when it's hot. You are the sunshine of my life. Hey! Yes. because that the someone who is the sunshine in your life, they are drawing you up to be the best version of yourself. If you're not that around these people, if you're having to pretend or wear the mask like we talked about last week, you need people around you who will be soil and sunshine. So I want to encourage us today as swag. We together are strong women achieving greatness. Strong women achieving greatness. Together, that's who we are. It's not just me. It's not just me. We're all that. This is a community. Swag is the village. We are the village. Everybody always says it takes a village to raise a child. We're the village. We're the community. We're the bridge. We're the bridge. And you know what a bridge does? It allows access to and from. Sometimes people need to be able to gracefully exit your life. Allow them that. Especially if they're not soil or sun to you. So that's why I wanted to retract the statement earlier. When I said, swag is a seed. Now, it was on national television that I said that. And there's, video out there of it. You can Google it once we're done here. But it's me saying swag is a seed. I want to retract that today. And I want to say that swag is soil and sunshine. That is who we are. All of us. Be sunshine for somebody. Be sunshine for somebody. Be soil for somebody. That when they are with you, they are growing. And they're getting what they need when they are with you. Be soil and be sun. Yes. I'm going to tell you somebody who's been sun in my life. And that's somebody who is in the swag spotlight today. Who could that be? Who could that be? Oh my God. Who's in the swag spotlight? Ooh! In the swag spotlight today is none other than my Aunt Anita Hollies. Yay! My Aunt Anita has been soil and sun. I love all of my aunts. I love my family. And I'm trying not to cry. But everybody knows you get there are connections with people that you have. Because experiences can bring those into your life that, circumstances will draw you closer. One of the things that's true about my Aunt Anita is she lived with us for a period of time. She did, just like my Aunt Zella. And I got to see some things, some really amazing things from my Aunt Anita. And I got to see her. She used to ride a bike to and from work. And I remember, I'm trying not to cry. I remember people saying stuff about her riding her bike to and from work. But it was just because they couldn't see. They could not see that within that seed, who she was. They couldn't see it. But she was going somewhere on that bike. And eventually that bike became a car. that bike became a car. And she had so many levels of success that happened in her life, different levels of success that happened. She's retired now. And at an age that most people would not be able to retire at. But I remember that about her. I also remember her being at church, playing the piano. I remember those things about my Aunt Anita. And, you know, people are going to talk. People are going to say what they want to about you. Let them. Let them. Because you know what? I bet the whip that she's got right now, there's people that's looking at it like, man, I wish I had a car like that. But see, she wasn't always driving that car. You know? And the other thing about my Aunt Anita, when we talk about people being sunshine in your life that pull you up, was when my sister Mickey passed away. She came up here. And I remember my Aunt Anita, and I had a really close friend of mine. She also came up here. Those two women were sunshine to us in a very, very, very dark time. They were sunshine. We were extremely sad. We were going through it. And I remember just needing to have space to mourn my sister. And someone was trying to prevent that. And their intentions were good. You know, it was all about spiritual things or whatever. Oh, you believe your sister's okay and whatever. Yeah. But what happened in that moment was my Aunt Anita, she came over there and she was just like, you need to stop. And she looks at Jerry and she says, Jerry, take her outside. Take her outside. Hey, you need to stop. She just handled it, you know. And it gave me the space that I needed. So, anyway, I absolutely love my Aunt Anita. And I was so thankful to be able to put her in the spotlight. So here's her questions. Oh my goodness. Question 1. These were her survey questions that she answered. What have you learned about yourself in the past 30 days? She said, I can be content in all situations. Question 2. What movie or TV show could you watch over and over? She said, Bridesmaids. I love that movie. Hilarious. Melissa McCarthy is one of my favorites. Question 3. Are you a morning person or a night owl? She said a night owl. Question 4. At whose table would you like to be a dinner guest? And she said Iyanla Van Zandt. Now, I'm going to tell you, that woman, whoo, Lord have mercy. I love Iyanla as well. Because she's one of those people that she will pour into you and she'll tell you, you know, what it is that you may need or to do or whatever to fix or whatever. But there have been times I've watched her just back up and be like, I don't know. I don't know. I love people like that. Because when she was admitting that she didn't know, she was also saying, I'm willing for someone else to impart that into me. The wisdom that I need. That there's space for that. Question 5. What's one thing that makes you proud of yourself? She says, I have a big heart. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So thank you to my Aunt Anita. We love you. I love you. I love being able to have you in the spotlight this week. And just want to encourage you all to bloom where you are planted. Your environment. Look at the soil. What's around you? And is there sun in your life? Do you have people pulling you up? I know this guy. He's going to get big. He's going to get big. And I'm ready for that. I expect that. Yes, I expect that. Thank you so much for being here with me this week. I hope that you got something out of being here today. That swag was soil for you today. And there were nutrients and things that you were able to pull out of it to help you bloom. Now, next week is going to be really special. Next week, we're going to have a pajama party. Yes. So next week with your quarantine points, you get a point if you're in your pajamas. Next week is quarantine party. It's a pajama party. And Michaela will be here with me next week. We will be here in our pajamas. So next week, don't worry about nothing. Just come on through and show up in your pajamas. I love you all. Thank you for being here with me today. Are you thriving? Are you thriving? I hope that you are. And I hope that you are able to bloom where you are planted. See you next week.